These are our Red Wing Irish Setter, and it's one of the top of the line men's traditional tradesmen's boot, a lot of carpenters, guys who just do work on their feet all day. It's a moccasin type construction. It's really, they come with a wedge sole, so they're really comfortable to stand in all day. They don't have a set apart or outside heel. It's all like a wedge. Here, he does a lot of work on his knees, and so unfortunately he wore off the toe welt. And this is an expensive repair. It's a $100 repair for shoes. Some people might think that's expensive, but this is a $250 boot. You know, in the Red Wing industry. So it's a good boot. It's just that he's dished out a lot of punishment to him, but they can take it. And I took the sole off, and then I put the hand sew the toe welts back on, and then sewed a midsole on. Are you ready now? Yeah. And then glued the sole on, and then I'll trim the soles. And finish them and oil them, and they're ready to go. New pair of laces. Every pair of full soles I do, I give them new laces.
Because of the quality of his service, his dedication and knowledge of what he does. That's why we are back. As I told you, I live in Brooklyn Park. I drove all the way here to see him. His prices are reasonable. He's an honest, person. He gives you his opinion, and I would say we are really happy with the quality of his work.
My name is Joan Laux, and I live in St. Paul. I've lived here about 5 years, and I discovered Hartland Shoe Repair about 4 years ago. Actually, I went to the Borealis yarn shop, and I saw the shoe repair shop here. It's really important to me to use things for a long time, take good care of them. I don't like disposable things, and I found that I've gotten really good service here, and I really appreciate a business like this in town.
Roger Shoe Repair was the first place, and I went to work there one summer, during the summer, and then he found out I wasn't even 16 yet. He didn't ask, and I didn't tell him, if you know what I mean. And so when it came to be school time, he says, well, you've worked here 3 months, I have to start paying you like a W-2, And what's your birthday? And then he looked at the birthday, looked at me and said, you're not 16 yet? I was always tall, and had a mustache, and I had sideburns and stuff, but even then, you know what I mean? So he just, I don't know, I can't really have you here until you're 16. He says, wait, can you come back in December? I said, sure. Then I was able to start working for him again, when I was 16. And so I worked for him 2 summers. It was my English class, right? And I said, I was asking him advice about which job. And because he brought his shoes into the shoe shop and saw me there. And he says, well, what do you really want to do? And I said, well, I like them all. I like photography. I had a chance to do an internship with the Daily Iowan, which is like the Minnesota Daily up here, doing photography, learning, I was just going to be, and then I was taking organ lessons at the place, and they liked my style or whatever, and they wanted to know if I'd like to become a salesman. So, and then the photography, the music, and the shoe repair. And he says, well, he knew my background, and said, well, shoe repair is something you could probably do all your life. Music is something that might be a hobby. Photography might be a hobby for you. And he says, well, in the photography world, there's a lot of things. He knew my Christian background, and that sometimes in photography you might have to do things you might not want to do to make a living, And he says, if I were you, I would stay in the shoe repair, and when you get to be about 55, do your hobbies. if you've accomplished and you want to retire from the shoe repair, do your hobbies. Treat the photography and music as a hobby. Well, I kind of did all three. I play the organ for church, and I do photography for my website, and I've done a couple weddings and stuff. So it continually amazes me how patient people have been. Maybe it's the fact I've been here 23 years now, and hopefully my body will last long enough that I can keep working as long as I want to.